Hey guys, so this will be a quick one because it's basically an article, but I'll go through it, and what you can do is you can read it in your own time. I'll sort of skim over it, and at the end, as usual, I'll give you a couple of tips if you're wanting to. I'm going to try. I try various things online because I don't want to. I just want to be sort of self-employed really and get away from all this 9-to-5 business, and so I'm trying various things, and I'll sort of let you know. I'll try it and I'll let you guys know how it's going. I'll if you want to go and try it yourself, go ahead. Like I've got one thing today where you can maybe make a bit of online. I'm signing up. I'll tell you about that at the end, and also a health tip to keep you. It's the health tip I'm going to give today is good for general sense of well-being, and supposedly keep you in overall good health. Okay, so let's quickly go through this. Oh, yeah, thanks guys to my subscribers. It's awesome. We're heading, we've broken the 400 mark. I wanted to get over that. I think we're about 405 now, so thanks guys. Let's go through this. Brief study. The root word combat, to fight in directional contact, act of fighting between enemies, any fight or struggle. The roots of close combat, self-defense, and mixed martial arts. So I'll let you scan through that. In ancient Greece, pankration was a combined system of all powers combat, the equivalent of what's globally known today as mixed martial arts, pankration. Same held true for samurai original fighting systems, referred to as guru bujutsu. Comprehensive catalogue of armed and unarmed skilled. What is saying here is that in all the old systems, it was all anything goes basically. As the years have gone on, everything's became sort of more watered down and PC, and it's become, a lot of it's become more for sports these days. You can, the Shaolin monks originally used all-in methods of combat to protect the communities that they surrounded. So anything was considered, even before boxing, got a whole set of what you can do and can't do. There was kicking, gouging, etc. So it all got watered down. Even in the original Okinawan T, pronounced T, system of karate that include percussion weapons as well as grappling, joint lock, etc. The idea being punch his lungs out if that did the job best, or grapple into a spine lock and use a neck break if he had to, just get the job done. Then he goes through the French, the British. The 20th century saw even more mixed martial arts combat systems. Any and all manner of grappling, kicking, kneeing, butting, biting, punching, and whatever other methods of mayhem could be employed were all fair, when fair meant the difference between life and death, or certainly didn't just end at unarmed fighting. Only in the arena of sporting combat did this division of method, pitting one against another, become a somewhat popular pastime. Matching wrestlers against boxers, either of the two against jiu-jitsu men, or savate fighters against boxers, was commonplace. In Japan, the founder of judo, so there's a bit more of the history. Judo experts at the time have advocated that striking would be the most preferable method of attack and defense. Karate legend, when asked if Kempo karate was superior to boxing after his knockout of a Western-style pugilist, said that in order for his method to be used against a boxer, specialized training specific for that type of match would have to be undertaken. These mixed matches were done under a constantly varying set of rules, so that it became virtually impossible to ever really determine what method or martial art was superior. The foregoing should satisfy and fulfill anyone's definition of mixed martial arts tactics and techniques, even Siamese boxing, Muay Thai. But to be fair, there are English language books circa around 1920-30 that detail Siamese boxing quite well. One manual details the favourite attacks of Siamese style boxers has been directed at the liver with brutal kicks. The liver attack was lethal in many cases because of the widespread epidemic of malaria. Deaths occurred frequently in these matches. The bottom line is this: for use in real violent assault, no one but another fool would suggest an attitude or method approaching less than that of all-in doctrine. In regards to deciding which martial art is best, nothing was ever or could ever be conclusively proven to be superior to anything else at one time or any other. Various methods had both big and impressive wins and equally impressive failures. So then we come down to the question of what is the best self-defense system. No matter what cultural style, when it comes to real fighting, the best system, whatever got the job done at the hand, accomplished in the fastest, most efficient way possible. The purpose comes first, the training came second. You ran into problems when you started to try and fit your style to any situation. This is why martial arts fail when you try to teach someone with zero experience in that particular art. In an effort to promote their systems to the masses, martial arts was constantly trying to adapt supporting systems to non-supporting applications. Judo was the first to do this, with Koshin Jutsu, a series of techniques developed to demonstrate how Judo would be applied to self-defense situations. Self-defense to the present day. The advent of World War I brought warfare into a new and foreboding era of man-to-man killing and slaughter, air power, etc. The static and stagnant lines created by entrenched warfare demanded new and innovative tactics and strategies. Among these was the event of raiding parties, small groups of lightly armed men venturing behind enemy lines for the purpose of recon, probing, intelligence, prisoner grabs, and psychological demoralization missions. The nature of fighting under these conditions became popularized as trench warfare. This was in close, knife-to-belly, hand-to-hand combat. For this manner of fighting, expedient methods of killing one's enemy, improvised close combat weaponry was developed and deployed. So basically what he's coming to is here is that the self-defense training system was born out of all this close combat stuff in in the world wars. While technological advances were made in all forms of warfare, this particularly nasty and vicious man-to-man fighting reverted to the most barbaric, primitive, bloody methods imaginable. Despite changes in technology, one solitary fact remained. In the end, it was still man-to-man in a desperate, brutal, and deadly struggle for survival. As a result, unarmed, hand-to-hand methods were drawn from every source of man-to-man combat: boxing, wrestling, SWAT, jiu-jitsu, and any number of rough-and-tumble gouge and kickback alley tactics were employed. Those charged with the task of developing such training programs were well aware of the fact that no one single approach to combat was sufficient to kill or be killed battle. So basically everything there. Fostered by this fact, most military forces researched, developed, and implemented comprehensive and rigorous training methods specific to close combat and trench fighting. The bayonet, the knife, especially the trench knife, hand-to-hand combat became prime training doctrines, along with achievements in general physical condition and battle. So this is one of the main founders of the close combat method. William E. Fairburn is one of the credited pioneers of the study during his tenure as head of the Shanghai Municipal Police. Years after World War I saw an increase in self-defense systems, elements of other methods of self-defense touted jiu-jitsu as the singular answer to personal tanker defense. The reason for this is because most Japanese methods for self-defense already included a comprehensive system of blow strikes, kick, grappling methods. You should also note that it's difficult to pin down a particular style of jiu-jitsu because during this period any method of Japanese self-defense was given this moniker. Combined with an influx of Japanese there was virtually other methods of self-defense. There was virtually no authority or expert in self-defense Allied Forces, Industrialized Self-Defense, Evolution of Modding Training System. So it's only fairly recent that it's all come together. The Battle of Britain, 1940, Dunkirk, You guys can read through this. So Fairburn retired as a ranking officer of Shanghai Municipal Police, and his partner Eric Sykes, a private arms dealer, served as a volunteer in the Shanghai Police and headed the sniper unit with framed Shanghai Rights Guard. Promised the war officers that their training methods could in short order make any one man the equal of 10. Even if that meant that an over middle-aged Fairburn had to place several young bucks in the hospital to prove his point in an impromptu but extremely realistic demonstration, so be it. Those who tested Sykes feared no better, so the methods that these men had developed during decades of very dangerous work in Shanghai now became the standard for training. So basically they tested him, and Fairburn put them in hospital, basically. It's a bit, I don't know if you guys know about Halo. That's basically what happened with, sort of more or less exactly what happened with Master Chief. Forget what you call them now, the Orbital Drop guys, who are always, thinking they're better than the Spartans. Well, some of them tested Master Chief, and Master Chief ended up, I think, killing a couple of them and putting them in hospital. Same sort of thing. So there, Sykes remained in England, Special Ops. He also, so this, these guys that this system is based on were involved in the first Special Ops programs. I'll let you read through that. So now later on we're into sort of post World War II. Though the contribution of Fairburn is great, as is the influence of Colonel Rex Applegate, there were dozens upon dozens of different close-quarter battle systems developed. The problem they faced with creating a universal form of defense is that the experts often tasked with their development typically relied on their expertise too much. Let's read through that. O'Neill, so that's another guy who worked in Shanghai, ranking judo black belt. There's a classic example of a system specifically tailored for both training environment. Rex Applegate was the best most work of the Applegate, owing to his exposure in the infantry and publishing of the book Kill or Get Killed, was not without his critics and other martial arts experts, as was Fairburn, due to the simplicity of the methods and tactics they involved. See, simple. Simple but effective. I'll let you guys read through that. You can read through it in your own time rather than listen to me going on here. So from a historical perspective, what is combatives? Combatives is a purpose-driven method of defeating one's enemy by whatever means necessary. It focuses on the fastest and most efficient means to accomplish the task at hand and includes all manner of weaponry. It is void of ethics, culture, and country. It is a tool for man-on-man conflict. And that's it, guys. Now, the technique I want to give you is from... I've referred to it in my other videos. It's called the 5 Tibetan Rites. Rites is R-I-T-E-S. You do these once in the morning, once at night. Even if you do it once in the morning, you'll feel the difference. Also combine this with, as soon as you get up, after coffee, whatever. I usually have a coffee and then I have a lemon drink. What you do is, just have a drink of, as much pure water as you can and squeeze some, lemon juice into it. But yes, you want to do the 5 Tibetan rites. These Tibetan rites have been around for 2,500 years. Apparently monks used them and they all remained healthy and fit and strong. And even young looking. Now, what these do is you're rotating lights where your chi comes in and disperses your chi. Now these rotating like fields, they're called chakras in your body. There's 7 main ones. If you do these 5 Tibetan rites, it keeps those chakras spinning at optimum levels, so that basically, you've always got a good amount of chi, a balanced amount of chi. Okay, so that's my house tip for today. You want to look it up. It's basically a set of 5 exercises. 5 exercises. You do each exercise 21 times. Now, most people won't be able to do, when you first start, you won't be able to do each one 21 times. Probably. So start out slow, maybe do 5, 10, do what you can. You do get used to it. I mean, I've been doing 5 Tibetan rites for about 30 years, 35, 40 years. And I showed my son the other day, and we're doing some, we're also doing some ThenX. I don't know if you guys know about ThenX. T-H-E-N-X, ThenX. We're doing some of his exercises the other day, and one involved was actually that he was doing was one of the Tibetan rites, and because I've been doing it for 40 years, it was just like, just another day at the office for me. But my 18-year-old son found it very difficult, because he'd pretty much never done them before. So I thought that was interesting. I'd just taken it for granted that, everybody could do this easily, but it was just because I've been doing it for 40 years every day. So there you go. Yeah, guys, if you can help me out by subscribing, to all my subscribers that have kept with me so far, awesome. I really appreciate it. You can donate to my cryptocurrencies I've got below. I've also got, obviously links to self-defense, all the self-defense you ever need down below. I've got links to earthing products below. I've got, if you don't know about earthing, probably one of the best healing techniques on this planet, or healing modalities. Earthing, otherwise known as grounding. And also shungite, guys, because you want to protect yourself from all the electromagnetic fields. Now, some people say that shungite is a sham. Why they say that is because there are some false shungite. Shungite is a black rock made of, what's called the elite shungite is 98% carbon, and it's full of fullerenes, or atoms joined together in the shape of what's known as buckyball fullerenes, which comes from the scientist Buckminster Fuller. Yeah, but there are some false shungite out there, but the real shungite, mainly you get from a place in Russia. It's another thing I'll say, guys. There's a form of shungite which is elite. It's called elite shungite. There's only a certain amount of it. So what I'm going to do is, it's going to run out soon, so it's going to be like gold soon. I'm going to buy up on that. It's called elite shungite. It's a silver. It's not all black. It's like more a silvery black. Now the other thing I'll tell you about, so shungite, I've got links to that below. If you guys are interested in, if I've still got it here. Oh yeah. Making a few bucks online. go and sign up with Appen. This website here, Appen.com, was voted the best website for 2019 for, you know, if you're interested in the remote jobs, in other words, working, you know, from home. This website here was voted the best potential, you know, best for doing that in 2019. So there you go, guys. You know, hopefully I've helped you quite a bit there. Where are we as far as the thing's concerned? Yeah. So there's that. Yeah, and if you can't do anything else, you know, you can't, you know, I've got links. You can donate cryptocurrencies. You can also watch, guys, you can watch my videos on BitTube. It's another video platform like YouTube. You get paid in tubes, cryptocurrency tubes. You can actually, on that website, you get paid for uploading videos, and you get paid for viewing videos in tubes, and then you can swap tubes for Bitcoin or cash out. Anyway, you can watch my videos on BitTube, and below my videos you'll see two buttons. One's for subscribe, one's for tip. So you can tip each individual video. So unlike Patreon, where you have to pay, you know, every month or whatever, continuously, on BitTube you can just tip one particular video that you like, you know, $1 or whatever. So you can do that. And if all else fails, well, I've got a multi-choice. You can do all of the above, or if you can't do any of the above, just hit the subscribe button, and that's just as good to me. So there you go, guys. Hopefully I've helped out there. Probably do a couple more videos today. I want to do one on shungite, and, you know, show you that it's definitely different from any other crystal you're ever going to meet. There you go.